All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. We're gonna check its local and its city search and see if it's got BSS, things like that. So we're here in the GBC universe, taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that, pinned post, whatever, home post. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So if we're rising, we're probably getting a mix of all different intent people, high intent people, mid intent people, low intent people. If we're falling, we're missing some groups somewhere. Now, here we're focusing on BSS way on the left. We're focused on the highest intent people, people searching for boudoir photo shoot, social search, searching on social media, like literally typing in, searching, and Google search as well. And way over on the right, we got our other brand talking about BLCS. That other brand is Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where Facebook ads to the lowest intent people, but there's the largest amount of them. Right now with that, we're only working with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month on boudoir Facebook ads. But we're here for BSS. So boudoir search sameness is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots on page 1 means we're on page 2 or deeper. We're basically dead already, kind of out of the gate at that point, because we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So we want to get the bulk of the market here, the 80%, approximately 80%. That's the bulk. We want to be in front of them by being on page 1 on Google. But even 1 slot is not enough, because 1 slot, if every other boudoir photographer has 1 slot, that means there's us and 9 other boudoir photographers on there. We aren't looking anything amazing because we only show up once, same as everyone else. So buyers are just going to click down the list, open everyone in a new tab, contact everyone, get price quotes, just because it's easier to click that than to click the next page button. And we already know approximately 80% of people never go to page 2. Now we also have a kind of our own GBC minimum where we want to hit 3 out of 10 on page 1. More on that later. Now 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google is not normal. Extremely common, but it's not normal to have that few number of page 1 Google slots. That means there's deeper root causes at play. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which basically everyone knows about, and the false belief of page 1 equality, which basically nobody knows about. So market saturation, that's when someone gets a new iPhone, they're throwing out their Google My Business profile, throwing up their website saying they now do boudoir photo shoots, or they get a new camera and they're posting them on Facebook groups saying they now shoot boudoir. And also during COVID, people losing their jobs, can't work, became boudoir photographers as well. It's kind of an anomaly. Causing market saturation, which caused a big glut of boudoir photographers to enter the market because people gotta earn money. Now, kind of the most dangerous one that was the false belief of page 1 equality. So the false belief of page 1 equality is what I've seen as the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses, far and above anything else. And it's basically page 1 equality, which never had a name before, but people just kind of auto accepted it, where it's like, oh yeah, I got 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and there's some market saturation. All right, it pushed me by 1 slot. Now, I'm on page 2, and hopefully they turn their website off so I can maybe go back onto page 1, but page 2, okay. Just these things happen, and blah blah blah. It's like it's normal to be kicked off page 1, go to page 2, and it's normal to not have as many first page links on Google as we want that we can take whenever we want. And because people believe this page 1 equality, or more likely they accept it without even knowing it exists, they do not try to solve it because they don't know this false barrier, this false box that they believe is real, or they don't even see that they're in a box, is actually not real at all, and they can solve it, and they don't have to believe in it because it's not real anyways. And I know it's not real because I myself went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots page one on Google in 10 days. So we'll see more about that in a little bit. But this false belief of page one equality is kind of, I lose my page one slots on Google. It is what it is. The number one killer I've seen of boudoir photography businesses. We also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. So we got our universe building here on the right. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. Number one killer I've seen of boudoir photography businesses. But we now know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. It's a proprietary methodology that we developed, and I'll be showing you the results we got for ourselves using it. And this is the only solution I have ever seen that can successfully outcompete and render market saturation as a non-issue. And I feel it's better than ads, Google or Facebook ads, because there's no momentum associated with them. With those, you stop spending, they stop showing. With this S-cubed methodology has its own momentum where it continues on. So it has momentum. Not infinite momentum, but it has its own momentum. And it's the only thing I've seen that allows us to take as many page one slots on Google as we want, rendering market saturation effectively kind of a non-issue. And kind of thinking of it this way, if we're in Boise, Idaho, and there's we're a boudoir photographer, and there's 999,999 other boudoir photographers. So a million boudoir photographers in the market. Everyone's got their own website to try to, and trying to rank page one on Google. But if we crank S-cubed methodology like up to the max, and let's say on all social search, we're ranked, the first 300 slots for the highest intent keyword for people looking for a boudoir photo shoot in our city. And that flows to Google, so we're ranked the first 300 slots on Google as well. They'll flow back to us in our social profiles or our website. Then we actually, if anyone's searching for a boudoir photo shoot in our city, they're basically unable to even find any competitors because they ain't scrolling to slot 301. I mean, there's 10 organic slots per Google page. If we're occupying 300, they got to go to page 31 to basically see any of our competitors with Google organic search. So if they can't find any of our competitors, how are they going to buy from them? So even if there are a million, but 999,999 competitors in our boudoir, our city competing against us, if we dominate where the highest intent people are searching, our business will go along fine. Now, once treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. We also get a secondary bonus of kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. So again, we know that once we go to page two, or a competing boudoir photographer goes to page two, approximately 80% or approximately 20% will go there. 80% will never even see them because approximately 80% of Google searches stay on page one. So there's kind of a extra bonus of ranking more slots page one on Google. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So we're no longer 0-1 slots. G slots is, that's okay. Here we recommend GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots. Page one on Google, because 1 slot now, well, 0 slots now, 1 slot now, we look the same as everyone else. 2 slots, we still kind of look the same as everyone else, but also there's a chance someone else has 2 slots. But if we got 3 slots or more, we're definitely out competing the people with 1 slot because they only see their name once. People with 2 slots, that's kind of rare. So, but we'll also be out competing them. But with 3 slots, you're gonna be like, man, kind of subconsciously, why does Google recommend these people so much? They must be good. Subconscious, it's all there. We also know that a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer. So, got our full micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation, the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. We now have the solution S cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Also, for those that want to dominate, we'll keep going. 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 slots. We'll just keep building that momentum. So now my results doing this, I wanted to rank, basically I want to dominate the keyword BLCS boudoir. So I employed S cubed methodology and go down to organic. So Instagram, organic slot 1, me. Or slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I got 9 out of 10 slots, page 1, organic, Google. Went from 0 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 in 10 days. And so anyone searching for this keyword, who are they coming to? Who are they going to click on? Obviously me, the dude with 9 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. So this is a super great result using S cubed methodology. Now we're here at the main event. We're going to see if this boudoir photography business, the local and the city search, see what's happening for BSS boudoir search sameness. See if it's in the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. All right, so we're going to LaPorte, Texas, and Houston. All right, LaPorte, Texas. All right, let's see. All right, going to the organics. All right, see what we got here. All right, boom, we got 1. Boom, we got 2. All right, so we've passed the BSS threshold. We do not have BSS. Boom, we got 3. All right, we've hit the GBC recommended minimum. Boom, we got 4. And all right, we got 4 out of 10 for local search good. So we don't have any BSS. We do not have, and we are hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. All right, now I'm going to check here. Houston, Texas. All right, let's see what we got. Nope, nope, nope. No, all right, we are not. So we are not even showing up. So we're at 0 out of 10. So local search good, we're dominating that. And do not have BSS. We reached the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 of Google. City search, Houston, we are not ranking at all. We got BSS for that one. And we're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local searches, your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your areas, and you're saying you have BSS for at least one of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 of Google search for at least one of those searches, and you've accepted that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief, and Google actually will give us and wants to give us as many page 1 slots on Google as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And you've been looking for some like SQ methodology. SQ methodologies, your one path forward that you can see that will actually help you, get all these slots. And you like the initial benefits, more slots, page 1 Google search, and you really like kicking your competing boudoir photographers off page 1 Google search, effectively making them invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. You like those. You also understand the market saturation. Yeah, more peeps become boudoir photographers over time. Okay, yeah, who doesn't know that? But you're thinking ahead and you're being like, man, AI is taking more and more peeps jobs. Last time that happened, COVID, and people lost their jobs, but people still had to earn money. So everyone's got a high-powered smartphone, ultra-powered camera. So tons of peeps became boudoir photographers then. So you're like, oh no, there's actually going to be more and more and more boudoir photographers entering the marketplace because they lost their jobs, still got to earn money. Way above and on top of the people that are simply naturally upgrading their gear. So you're actually realizing, man, I actually got to fortify my position on page 1 and I have like so many page 1 links that Google is ranking me for on page 1 that Google actually runs out and starts putting my page 1 worthy links to force them to start filling out page 2, 3, and 4. And you need to fortify because you actually got to keep current competing boudoir photographers from ever ranking page 1 Google search. And as also any new boudoir photographers that come in losing their job due to AI, remember rank on page one Google search. So you got to fortify your position like fortifying those levees down in Nolens, Louisiana. And so you're liking that future benefit, kind of fortification. You want to achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, because you need these things on your way to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. You also understand XQ and SQ methodology correctly every single day. We're actually throwing up basically creating invisible thematic keyword columns in our brand, kind of attached, plugged into our brand. And as a result, we're building up this like massive backend AI keyword mindshare with all these highest intent boudoir buyer keywords plugged into our brand. So every new day we execute this, we get the benefits of higher probability being recommended here, AI overview right at the top, most premium organic placement on Google search or any search, whoever's using Bing search out there, and also increasing the probability that AI apps recommend us in parallel. ChatGPT search, Claude search, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, they all run on the same backend thematic keyword kind of mindshare system, where it's looking at repetition, relevance, age, authority with all these different keywords. And that AI searches, dude, it's getting larger and larger, more and more and more every single day. And so, like in those feature benefits, and actually last time I did AI search with the photographers in the city, it was a ChatGPT, and dude, it returned me 3. When I did a manual search, Google search, manual Facebook search, I found like 60. So it's like, man, we gotta get these slots any way possible. And you're seeing SQ methodology is the only thing that kind of enables the speedy creation of these invisible thematic keyword columns compared to any other solution out there. You also like the future benefit, building a large, well-known brand approximately 8x faster than normal methods, or methods everyone else is using, because we're doing much higher volume across many more surfaces. And you also understand that since my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, you also like that you have a chance to get all these benefits and prevent all your competitors from getting these benefits. So you can actually build up a massive backlog of page one worthy links ahead of your competitors and build up massive backend AI keyword mindshare, again, ahead of all your competitors. Basically make a big gap between all your current competitors and future competitors as AI takes their job, and kind of in preparation for that. And well, I mean, it's already happening already. And because of that, you decided to be first mover in your city, adopt this technology, be the first one so you can box everyone else out, because you understand the converse is if one of your competing boudoir photographers in your city signs on with me to use this first, then you're actually going to be, well, in order for you to compete, you're going to have to increase, or actually for first, you'd have to rederive SQ methodology for yourself. Well, actually derive it for the first time for yourself. And you would never actually be 100% confident you've derived it correctly, because we're the ones that invented it. And as a result of that, you'd be, you then have to equal our execution every single day in order to, and that would happen after that is you would maintain the gap that we currently have ahead of you, me and your competitor. So to make any headway, you'd actually have to double or triple our execution every single day. And in order for you to do that, well, you still wouldn't be even 100% confident executing this strategy, because you wouldn't be 100% confident you've correctly derived SQ methodology in the first place. And you'd be looking at all this and be like, dude, who's got 80 hours per day to do all this stuff? And so you realize all that, and you decide, oh, screw that. You're simply going to be the first mover in your city, because this opportunity is too good to pass up. And so if that's you, shoot us a DM. Hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, so even if you want to work with us, you cannot. But when the hospital does open for new patient intake, shoot us a DM, and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.